Hey everyone, welcome to the MContent AMA. Today I have Phil and Kim.
Hello, hi.
Phil, have you been on video? Have you been on video AMA yet?
I haven't, no.
Okay. First time for both of you then,
Yes, first time.
Amazing.
Excited.
So maybe so the community gets to know you, would you guys each like to give an introduction about, what you do here, when you joined? Just so they know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello everybody. My name's Kimberley. I joined MContent about a month ago as head of production. I come from a background of living in the UK. I'm from the UK. I started an education at a world-class spot in London called NFTS, National Film and Television School, where I made some really great friends, great connections, and I've kept in touch with them throughout the world. I did a master's in production, and then I moved to New York first of all, and I was acting behind the scenes. And then I got involved in more of the production elements, and I realised that I really love the nuts and bolts of filmmaking. So I moved to Los Angeles after that. I actually moved to LA, and I was involved with some really big productions with awesome people like Chuck Lorre. You know when Gossip Girl was on, and so I worked with Chase Crawford, which was actually quite fun.
That's cool.
Loads of stories about him actually.
Of course, is when Gossip Girl was on.
Yeah, do you remember Gossip Girl? He was very popular with the ladies. And some of these films won South by Southwest and like big film festivals, which was cool to go to because it's always great to celebrate success of your projects, cool. After putting in all the hard work. And then I started my own production company in the UK. We did like co-productions with the US as well, because I'd already built up quite a good roster of talent there. And then so many things happened, but to keep it short, I moved to Dubai. I worked at an advertising agency with like big clients and Pharrell Williams and Kevin Hart, loads of cool people, and then I joined MContent, and now I'm here.
Wow, quite the journey. Phil, what about yourself?
Mine's a little bit less well-traveled, I think. But it's so I was involved in setting up a business in the UK called Goldfinch, which is a film and TV financier and production company, which has quite a track record in terms of the number of projects we've been involved in and the amount we've deployed. We've raised and deployed something like over 200 million into over 300 projects in 8 and a bit years, and started diving into the Web3 space 18 months, 2 years ago. I met Rivera, the founder of MContent, on a panel we were both on, kept in touch, and just kind of knocking between us ideas on where entertainment industry was going in general, and also I had a lot of admiration for what he and the team and the company had achieved in such a short space of time. So then it got into us basically deciding or trying to work out how could I come on board and also bring on board the network and skill set of not just myself but the whole of Goldfinch, and that led to us announcing me joining as the Chief Content Officer, and also partnering with Goldfinch to assist on the financing, production, sales side as well, which hopefully gets MContent to where it needs to be quicker from a content point of view. So I, run, oversee the content side of the business, and the team there, which has been very fast growing. I joined, I think, it'll be 4 months ago now, which feels like a very long time, but I suppose, it's kind of like crypto Web3 time is what meant to be like 3 times longer than normal.
Yeah.
Really excited about where the company's going, even more excited than when I joined. And one of the main reasons that I think it's an exciting place is that we're so far ahead of the competition that's out there in terms of what's been built in-house, what's been launched and achieved. Really, a lot of people in Web3 and in entertainment in general, talk a good game and love chatting about what they're going to do. But it's rare that people kind of go out and actually execute as quickly as MContent has, in not just building a great platform, building a great community, but also getting funds into content and getting content onto the platform. So my job coming in is to raise the bar in terms of the content and the creators we're working with, improve that pipeline both in size and quality of both the filmmaker and the content itself, and also kind of look for other opportunities out there in the marketplace commercially and support the rest of the team on the marketing and the tech side however we can too.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm personally happy that both of you are here. Phil, you mentioned that there's no one close to us, and that's true. Like even now when I hear that there's a Watch to Earn project launching, I just think to myself, like, they have so much work to do. Like, because you don't realize like how much work it takes to get built up to where we are, and how far ahead we are of everyone else that does everything with content, to funding, to the YouTube-like style, to films in production, to seed funding, to doing all of it. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to ask both of you a question. I've been asking 2 questions every AMA. The first one I ask, you guys can both answer. What made you want to join MContent? What was it the idea? Was it something specific? What was it?
Yeah, I think when I heard about MContent, it really aligned with my own personal values in terms of giving filmmakers back value for what they've made, because I think so often it's seen by the production houses, the distributors, like it's seen by basically end users, people that are putting the money in. Like nobody really sees the money from the film that's actually creating the content, and I know that because I have personal experience of some of those projects. So when I found out about MContent, actually giving money back to filmmakers and actually being on the platform and being able to earn money from your time watching it, right. It just seemed like a really good marketing idea, because people should be rewarded for their time, because right. Time is such a valuable resource, and also filmmakers deserve to get at least some money back from the films that they're making, right. And it's rare. It's a very rare thing to happen, and I think so MContent really aligns with my brand values and with my own personal values, and yeah, I think coming here as well, it's just a great place to learn, to work. Everyone's doing their own separate roles, and they're Web3, producing original content, marketing, like everyone's from all different walks of life. So that was another thing, the company culture is really good, really exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy when we have these, like Monday meetings and everyone talks about what they're doing, and you realize like, oh, we're all busy with stuff.
Yeah,
everyone's
exactly.
doing their own things.
Exactly.
What about you, Phil? What was it? What got you excited about MContent?
Yeah, kind of like I said in the last answer, was, first of all, I met Rivera and bought into him as the sort of founder, which I think is always the case, whether you're joining as a team member or coming in as an investor or even a token holder or anybody. You buy into the people, into the team, and the founder is such a key part of that, because they set the tone throughout the business, in something that's, I was going to call it small. I wouldn't say we're small anymore, but fast growing and, a startup. So that was the first thing. The second, it was as I said, the scale, which, MContent had already kind of achieved everything that it had. And then I think kind of the third thing is probably the ambition going forward, and where the team, where the board kind of are aiming for is an exciting this is an exciting journey to be on. The ambition is high. It's not just can we grow this to being something that is something that is regional, or something that is exciting within a small group or niche audience. We're aiming for this to be a unicorn, $1 billion valuation, and something that is global in its reach. And I honestly think that with all the pieces that we have in place and are putting in place, that is achievable, and I think that's very rare that you can say that, and also be offered the opportunity to come in and help craft that and get there, during your kind of career and lifetime. So yeah, I'd kind of say a mixture of those three things put together.
Wow, it's a great answer, by the way. The first question I have for you, Phil, since you're overseeing content overall, what's in the content pipeline as far as like M Originals or content coming out? I hear about it all the time from the community that want to know, and I'm like, hey, I'm not the best person to ask. Well, now we have the best person to ask here, so.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to I won't name too many names or titles, but the way in which we kind of look at it is I'd say with 3 or 4 hats on, or areas, and as ever, this is kind of fast evolving and changing as we go and we learn more and we get feedback. So the first one is acquisitions and licensing for us. So we're currently acquiring, licensing a lot of content to go onto the platform. So that's made by other producers and filmmakers. So I think the target is that we'll hit at least I think 500 hours by the end of the year, and then maybe the same by the start of next year as well. So essentially trying to get our hours and catalog up that's on the platform. The second group of projects that we're getting involved in are third-party producer and filmmakers that are coming to us with almost like original ideas that we're helping support and commission and finance or co-produce. So this is very much in the ethos and the remit of Web3 and the platform of helping creators and stories come to life that maybe aren't getting the spotlight and the support that they currently are in under the current sort of more traditional entertainment system. The third one is we have our own original slate as well that we're producing in-house. Exciting, we hope sort of really zeitgeist, interesting, boundary pushing content that we're pushing forward, from the content team here at MContent, here within the business. And I'd say the fourth category is almost these kind of these partnerships that we're crafting and putting together strategically with, big, whether it's brands or events or rights holders, whatever it is. But it feels a bit bigger, and there's some of these really exciting opportunities we're seeing and just trying to work out how to execute and put together currently, which are almost creating channels around the content that they've got, creating, a plan around the content they've got coming up, supporting them with that, maybe bringing in some more Web3 elements like NFTs or the Cineverse app that we've got, and really, supporting other, in a lot of cases, much larger and more established businesses, use content, marketing and the access and the IP, and kind of weaving it all together with Web3 to create a new user experience for their audience or for their consumer.
Yeah, when you give an answer like that, it seems like it's like a massive undertaking.
Yeah,
it seems so difficult when you.
There's a lot of there's a lot of projects coming up in the pipeline, but I think the main thing is like getting young filmmakers onto the slate, and we've been talking to a lot of people in the region and creating some really fun project ideas like reality sports TV shows, gaming shows, like Big Brother style, but all set in Dubai or involving Dubai filmmakers. We've also got events coming up for young filmmakers where we're encouraging them to come in and to tell us about their projects and pitch their projects to us. And we've got an exciting sort of road trip movie coming up as well, where we're driving 3,000 miles, and it's the first time that it's been in the UAE out of 23 times that they've done it. So we're involved across such a wide scope of things, but I think the thing that bonds it all together is that we're trying to get sort of filmmakers from the ground, and even contestants from the ground if it's like the gaming show, people that haven't had much experience in whatever field, and build them up and give the opportunity for people to make stuff and see their work come to life.
I think that's my favorite part about the project is finding these like people and these stories that don't have the spotlight. Like the number 2 point that you gave, I think is probably the most, for me, the most important part of this project is, you know, giving people opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what Web3 is for.
Yeah.
And that's based out of and I think me and the team are especially excited about that, and also unearthing that in areas, territories that are being kind of overlooked as well, whether that's the Arab world, you know, as Kim kind of, you know, referenced, you know, the work we're doing on the ground in the UAE, in our backyard, whether that's in Africa, whether that's in Asia, these places that are, you know, are absolutely brimming with talent, untapped stories, amazingly rich culture and heritage, that are being overlooked or not getting access to the, you know, the current entertainment you know, infrastructure and funding that goes with that. So I think that's the really exciting thing, is using the tech, the platform, the community to help raise these stories and filmmakers up and get them made, as well as distributed back to the people that have supported it in the first place as well.
Amazing. Phil, I have a question for you. As far as the acquisitions, what's on the way from the content library acquisitions? I know that we've had some announcements lately. I don't know if you can talk to the community about those and
Yeah, we can. So 2 we got over the line at I think it was just before MIP or at MIP. So a lot of the work we've been doing is going to these markets. You know, MIP being one, the American film market being another. And you know, when you're there, you know, you're sat, you know, meeting, you know, 100 different sales agents, distributors from around the world, seeing what they have in their content library, and then ultimately working out what do we want to acquire from them and what do the deal terms look like. So we've really been hitting the road hard, and we will for the rest of this year as well, to get out into those markets and ultimately just put down a marker to say, you know, MContent's here to do deals, to be a serious player and someone to watch out for. And the great thing is starting to get some of those over the line, so people do, you know, take us more seriously and can see that we're a company of action and not just talking about it. So as you said there, Ryan, you know, one of them was the Espresso Media deal that I think we took. I think it was around 55 hours. Wow. Mostly of documentaries, factual content. Yeah. And then second to that, it was the All Rights deal as well that we did for 44 hours of content. Which was a mix of kind of slightly older film titles, but recognizable ones, and some documentaries too. But yeah, I think all of this is. All of those titles within those 2 are really, you know, pushing that bar a bit higher in terms of, you know, they'll be recognizable to people off the street. You know, they're all, you know, got some element of award winning or being critically acclaimed or having been to festivals and having that kind of credence behind them. And, you know, as I referenced earlier, we're hoping to close at least another kind of close to 500 hours by the end of the year. And so there's a number of other deals that are of a similar nature that hopefully we can get over the line and announce and really start to shout about even more titles coming to the platform, you know, of a similar level or even higher.
You know, for us, just having this platform, you know, launching very soon and already us working on having new titles to go on that platform is pretty crazy, you know, because as from a user experience to have a new platform and we're already loading it up with new content so it doesn't get stale or boring and helping it grow that way.
It's going to be super
It's not
cool.
something that a regular user thinks about. That has to happen, you know.
And also the hype and the build up to all the content that's coming as well, and actually then being able to watch that content all in one place on the platform.
Yeah,
super cool.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great. But it's an exciting thing as well. Is it's being able to have those conversations, as I said, at the market and curating and selecting these projects. You know, knowing that, you know, the reaction hopefully they're going to get and how much, and the exciting place that we're in, that we're relaunching the platform. That's going to be amazing. We have, a content budget to spend, and we have the access to the relationships to deliver some great content as well. So now, as I said before, it's about us executing and delivering, more and more and better content back to the community.
And I was going to add to Phil's point, like what's really cool about the platform also is that it's worldwide. So like even acquiring content from different countries,
right.
Everybody can kind of relate or access it, and it's, so it doesn't need to be just in Dubai. Like the stories might be, related to Dubai or Africa, but then someone in London or somewhere else in the world tuning in can have access to all those stories about Dubai or Web3, or, because Dubai is like a hub for Web3 and crypto. So, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah, we always want to try and find like local stories that can travel, niche stories that can have a broader audience. And it sounds like a bit of a sort of oxymoron, or but it's true. And I think that's the exciting thing is we're digging into areas and communities and stories that haven't necessarily had their chance to shine. And then us bringing, Kim's knowledge, my knowledge, the rest of the team's knowledge and network to help take them to a wide, to our community, but then to a wider community and potentially audience outside of that as well is that's what I love about my job, and I'm sure the rest of the content guys do, is bringing those stories to fruition and seeing them kind of get out there and screened and shown to people is why we kind of do what we do.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Just on acquisitions, I can think of like 2 or 3 more questions I'm interested in, but maybe we'll save it for like a future AMA. When you're back in the office.
It's cool though, because the growth potential is huge. Like Phil was saying, you start off with some titles and some viewers, and now we've got more viewers, and with the relaunch of the platform, the accessibility will be even easier, the way it's laid out. So I've seen some of the stuff. It looks really cool.
I'm even thinking about like the analytics to like you sign so many watch hours with this company, and maybe your users watch that, they like this film more, and now with this new platform we can see like, oh, our community likes watching this type of content, or
and like that's the exciting bit we can start to get into is using that data and not just the data, but also interacting far more with the community. I know we've kind of touched on elements of that in the past, but I think we can really, and it's what we should be doing, being a Web3 community-driven platform. We should be putting ideas and decisions back to the community for them to talk about and vote on and direct us as well. What did they like? What didn't they like? What do they want to see more of? All that stuff is fantastic for us to guide us better, and deliver better content to the platform for the people using it.
So should people in the comments let us know what they want to see?
Yeah, please let us know what you want to see.
Any feedback? We're here.
We do have a budget though, so saying like Top Gun or like that is you can try, but
Any stories maybe that like you think are interesting topics, or
please
that
let
would be
us
cool.
know.
Top Gun would be good, maybe at some point.
Down the line.
Down the line. Top Gun was really good. Have you seen Beirut after the blast though?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's such a local story. That actually was also another thing that I watched before I joined MContent, and I just thought it's such a poignant story and so relevant, and something that's not really been done before. So that was really cool.
That was a perfect example. I mean, it's the one that we always quote to people in saying it's kind of like a poster child of what you can do with Web3 in terms of, we funded it through the Content Creators Fund. We, released it onto our Watch to Earn platform. We, premiered it in the Cineverse. We dropped some NFTs around it for charity. We ticked all the boxes of how, what are the use cases of Web3 in filmmaking and content creation. And I think, that we've certainly, used it as that kind of poster child in conversations And I think the more we can do that, the better, really, to really, kind of harness the technology, and again, to bring stories out and filmmakers out that aren't getting that support currently.
And I think my favorite part about that whole film was leading up to the film, we had Twitter Spaces almost every day with Lebanese community, and hearing them talk about how important it was for us to tell the story, because there were so many brands and companies that showed up for their picture, hey, I'm here helping, and then they never seen them again. So this story was never told by anyone else. So I think for me, that's the coolest part.
And there's a really cool thing that we're doing with in the metaverse with the 3D with the headsets.
Yeah.
Just seeing inside the headsets, it actually, even if you've put on VR headsets before, seeing MContent in that and being able to watch films in that makes you feel like you're at the cinema. Without needing to go to the cinema.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it always starts with a story, though. It always starts with a good story. All those things I described around Beirut that we did, and the Cineverse and NFTs, etc., and Web3 or tech in general, is great. But if the story isn't great at the start, and the filmmaker isn't good and can execute, then it's all in vain, really. So it all starts with a good story, and I think that, again, all those other bits we can add on just should add, hopefully, to the user experience and the experience of the audience, the engagement the audience can have with the story and the creator. But yeah, it all has to come from an amazing script, story, access, whatever that is. That's what we need to stay focused on as the kind of content team.
And that's what Phil goes and talks to people about at different film festivals. And we have, so the process is sort of meeting people, and then, we have meetings with them, various development meetings to make sure that, their vision aligns with ours on the MContent platform,
Right.
that the storytelling is perfect. And then that's when we sort of go into the writing phase, and we partner with people to then have them make the content, or we make some of it in-house, but mainly like Phil said, it does start with the story. And other projects, I want to talk about all the projects we have coming out, but there's some really exciting ones set in the desert as well, very simple ideas, but have a great story-driven narrative and a really cool backdrop of the Dubai
Right.
or Middle East desert. So
Cool.
I've got.
Guys, we've hit almost 30 minutes, so I'm going to go to the last question I've been asking everyone on these AMAs. What's one thing about the rebrand or the launch of this platform that you're most excited about? Now remember, no names or no dates, please, Phil. Usually this is what people are telling me. I'm telling you guys. If you can name one thing that you're most excited about, to let the community know.
That's a good question, and very difficult to not share any details. The one am I most excited about? I think I think just kind of solidifying or our place as being a very innovative platform, watch to earn platform that's ahead of all of the competition out there, and bringing in functions, bringing a lot of functionality to one app that currently exists across multiple, and with that giving us a great kind of shop front to show the content that we have, that we will have, and also that gives us a great kind of selling tool to land the best creators and stories going forward as well, because creators want to know that they're working with a platform or a buyer that is audience driven and is going to look after the content they've got. So us be able to show them the level and the quality of what we're delivering to the audience is really key in that. So yeah, I'd say those multiple things in answer to the one.
Nice.
I think I'd say similar to Phil, giving the audience what they want to watch, because we can tell great stories, but if no one's watching them, then there's no point. So like just giving you guys at home like somewhere to come, and you know that all the content on that platform is things that you would be interested in and want to watch. Yeah, just having more reach, growing internationally, you know, just making sure that that people are being rewarded for their time as well. Just excited for more people to get to know the platform.
Okay, I'm going to close it up with one community question. This is from Jack, huge supporter, one of our mods. Are we acquiring content for kids too? Parents will be happy their children watching their favorite cartoon movie on our platform and also earn free tokens at the same time for their future.
It's a good question. I think we're not at the moment, because that would involve, I think, a couple of kind of legal headaches and questions that we're not quite ready to tackle yet. And also, I think our view is our target audience is very much, you know, Gen Z, young millennial. And so we want to focus primarily in the short term on, you know, the content that targets them, and that content probably isn't that kind of family friendly, you know, kind of very young skewing children's stuff. But yeah, I love the way that Jack's thinking, and it's definitely something we've spoken about. But I think that'll probably come down the track a little bit once we've nailed our target audience, and you know we've fully expanded into that, and we've you know reached more internationally. Then it becomes, how can we move into those other demographics and utilize the amazing tech and the watch to earn model into those other places too.
Amazing. All right, guys,
Yeah.
that's it for this this video AMA. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Join us again tomorrow, 1 p.m. UTC. We'll be here on video again. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here, Kim. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Phil.
Bye.
See
Bye,
you
guys.
soon. Bye.